In this video, we're going to go over the aggregation function count star. So this allows you to count the number of rows that you're generating. This is a quick and easy way to count how many individuals or how many data points you have in your database that fulfills a certain condition. So we're going to go over count star, and we're going to go over the function group by. The group by function, like it says, it defines conditions for aggregating data. So you can group your results by any other, like you can group it by years, months, certain certain groups. Like if you want to do um, based on like some demographics, you can group them based on demographics. You can basically group based on anything that you choose, but you need to define how you're grouping by, right? So if you have, say, product information and you have categories, subcategories, and like detailed product information, instead you can choose to group based on products. If you choose instead you want to group it by subcategories and not see individual products, you could do that, and then you can further group it by categories if you want. So there are many different ways based on what your objective is, what kind of information you're trying to generate. You can group by based on that. But most often than not, whenever you have an aggregating or grouping or summarizing data functions as such as count star, uh, it's often followed by a group by command to extract some more meaningful information out of your data. Okay, let's try a few examples. So for these examples, I will be using weather station data. So connect to weather station data. All right, so for the first one, we just want to count how many rows there are in this weather station data set. So if you go to the weather station data, you'll see we have station number, report code, year, month, day, all sorts of weather information for that day, fog, rain, hail. That's your data. So we have quite a bit of rows. You can see we can only see the first 1,000 rows over here, but you can see there is about 28,000 rows. So let's go ahead. Let's go to weather station because we're in an editor interface where your table is loaded here. We can just see it from, we can see right away exactly how many rows you have. But if you are working on a server where you can't really see the data set before you're extracting it, it's helpful to know exactly how many observations you have in your table. Okay, let's go to our editor and try a few commands. So the first one, again, we're just going to count how many rows we have in station data. So you can use the function count start for it. So select, you don't have to define any column names right now because we want the total number of rows, so that means that's all columns included. Putting column information is not going to change the number of rows that you have. So select count star, select count star. It's going to create a new column. It's just going to have one data point there, that is the sum of your total number of rows, but we need to give that column a name. So as, you can call it anything you want. Just be sure not to put any space in the name. If you want to name it with two different things, put underscore in place of space. All right, so as record count. It doesn't matter whether you call it record data or from record count. Record count sounds better. So from station data. Right. So there you go. So your record count is 28,000. Again, we were able to see that information because we are in an editor interface where your data and your SQL command window are in the same place. Often you are going to have your data in some remote location that you're trying to connect with over server and using SQL commands to get this information. Okay. All right, so now we know how many rows there are in the total data set. What if we want to specify, add a few more conditions, like we want certain things. We want to know how many days did, that for all the weather information that was recorded, how many days were there that in which we experienced a tornado. Okay, right. So you can keep the same command. I'm going to save these for to write out all the commands at the end. There you go. Okay. So this command is still going to be the same. We still want the total count, and we want it as record count from station data, but we want it for, or you can change this to tornado count. And we want to change, oh sorry, we want to find days where we had a tornado. Okay. So tornado is equal to 1. Let me go back to station data and make sure that the column tornado is called tornado. There you go. Okay, so you can see if there is a tornado, it's equal to 1. If not, it is 0. Okay. So we have 3,000 data points where tornado was equal to 0. All right. We are going to use more such count star functions, but let's also see how we can combine this with group by functions. Okay. So the group by function, this lets you sort this information. So now you just don't have, now you will get more detailed information about, say, if you want to see for each year, how many tornadoes did we have? For each month, how many did we have? Or for each particular year, how many did we have? So you can do things of that sort. Okay, the command's exactly the same. We're going to keep the same thing. Okay. So select count star as tornado count from station data where tornado is equal to 1. Say we want to find for each year that we have in our database, for each year how many tornadoes did we have. So we want to group it by years. So you need to add, so what we'll have here is we're going to have the years, and then here we're going to have the tornado count right next to it. So we need to give, so that means we are going to generate the column year and count of rows where tornado is equal to 1. Okay, so add the column year. So select year to count star as tornado count from station data where tornado is equal to 1, and then group by year. Okay, now we can see for each of the years exactly how many tornadoes did we experience. Great. You don't have to do it just by year. If you want, you can see by month if you want to see exactly how many. So if you want to find out which months are prone to tornadoes, we can get information like that too. So now it's going to aggregate over months instead of years. So select month instead of year, and then group by month. Okay. Now we have the 12 months. You can see for each month how many tornadoes there were. So it looks like March. March is not a good month. You can see it based on both year and month. So get more detailed information that is for every month of every year. How many tornadoes do we have? So let's try that. So now we want year and we also want month. So year, month, count star. over here with year, count, month 2. Okay. So now it's grouping by year, but you also have months over here. It's only generating months where there was a tornado, so if there wasn't a month with tornado. Right. One other shortcut that you can follow in which you don't have to write out every single columns that you want to sort by. Instead of putting year and month over here, you can follow the same ordering that you have after the select command. And then this is your column 1, this is column 2. So instead of putting year, the actual name of the columns, you can put the order of the columns so that you have first year and then month. So this is 1 and then 2. It's going to give you the exact same thing. So it's a shortcut that you can use for which you don't have to type out every single thing. You can also combine it with order by commands. Star. So keep all this, and then you can put order by. You can choose it to do by year, or you can specify to first organize it by year. It looks like it's already sorted by year, but if you want to specify that further, so by year and then by month. Again, from the looks of it, it looks like it was already sorted that way. Maybe if we put descending. Okay. Now if you add descending before year, it sorts it in descending order. Or maybe it's doing the same for this, I just can't see it because there were too many. Okay. Right, so now we know how to use the function count star, and we know how to use the group by function.